Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. This is A Life Well Spent. My name is Kelly, and on this channel, I document my financial journey. So we talk things like budgeting, investing. At a time, we did talk debt payoff because I was paying off debt. You can check some of the links below and see sort of my debt payoff journey and things like that, and see how that all went down. I, at this point, only have my mortgage, which is pretty exciting, let me tell you. This video is a video that I do monthly, and it is a wrap up video for my monthly budget. So I start the month with a budget, and I do kind of weekly transactions, and then I do a wrap up at the end so we can kind of see how I did. When I didn't do this, I kind of got away, life got in the way big time. Ultimately, my father was dying. So that took up a lot of time and energy, and even afterwards, like it was just kind of a crappy year. And I noticed that when I didn't do these videos, my spending was super out of control. So these help keep me accountable. I think a whopping like 5 people watch them, so it would be cool if more watched. But this is for me in a lot of ways too. So anyway, this is a video to show my February budget and how I did. So let's get into it. All right, so here we go. Actual income earned this month, $3,693.12. That's just from my regular day job. My mother gave me $105, and if you've been here, you know that we just kind of pay for some things to shared together. So that's what she gives me to put towards that. That's her portion of it. Yeah, she doesn't like just give me money willy-nilly. And then miscellaneous extra income, $2,179.68. And that's actually a combination of some things. One of those is a tax return, which was nice, or a refund. Most of that was a tax refund. And then I got reimbursement for a work trip I took. So some of the expenses that I had at work. So total income this month, $5,977.80. I almost wish I had spent a little bit more on my work trip, because then I would have actually reached a $6,000 income. Like, not really, but kind of. Anyway, mortgage, $688.77. That's mortgage. PMI, taxes, insurance, and all that kind of stuff escrowed together, and principal payment. My electric was $65.11. My natural gas $151.36, which is actually a lot lower because it's been warmer. Which, like, okay, upside, that's typically over $200. Like, seriously, I think last year it was about $220 maybe. So upside, it's not that bad, but downside, I never really got winter, and I really love winter. I think I skied twice. I didn't ski at all in February because the weather was terrible. And now lots of them are closing already, and it's like the first week of March, and it's just very miserable. Very sad. Like, I am glad to have the money to save the money, but I'm sad because I really like skiing and I hate not getting to ski. So anyway, sewer $63. That's a flat rate. Water $21.15. Typically it's a flat rate. I call it a flat rate. It's not really a flat rate. It's by use, but $19.98 is like the typical actually it's 97, but I somehow put it on auto pay at 98, and it just puts an extra penny in there all the time. I should probably go change that. But anyway, every once in a while I go over the minimum usage, and this is a month that I did. So it's not really a flat rate, but it tends to be. But this time I went over 21.15. Garbage, it was a garbage month. I pay this quarterly. It's $42. Internet $68. Cell phone $36.02. Groceries $198.37. So I'm pretty psyched that I have been, like, last year I tried so hard to stay in under $200, and I was like, $50 a week, that should be doable. Like, it's just me. And I do have a lot of food still from like pandemic days. I stocked up on a lot of food. like pantry staple type things. I have like practically half a cow in my freezer. Nah, it's probably not half a cow anymore. My mom and dad and I split half a cow, but so I guess a quarter of a cow. I'm trying to think of like how much we sort of split it differently. My dad took all the steaks because that's what he loves the best. Anyway, life insurance, $7.50. That's just a term policy for like, I don't know, $50,000 or something. I actually ought to look at when that term is up because I feel like I got that policy when I was like 25 maybe. So it's got to be getting close to like not being good anymore. But anyway, I should probably take a look at that. That was a real set it and forget it thing. Gas 108.50. Again, just not driving to the ski resorts. I just didn't use a lot of gas. I also was a bum and didn't go to the gym hardly at all in February. So I really didn't leave the house often. I walk to work, so I don't like even spend the gas that way. In fact, some of that was actually probably from the trip I had to take for work, and I got reimbursed for that, but yeah. Mom stuff, $12.97. I bought her something, I think at Sam's. So, and I like realistically, I don't care that she pays me or not. And she will, but I keep that there. I don't necessarily plan to like that's always going to be zero, almost always going to be zero on that side. Like, so I don't necessarily plan to. I just keep it there so that if I have bought her things, we can keep track of what she owes me. And her budget has the same thing. She's got one for me that's when she buys me things and I owe her money, we know and we can track like, oh yeah, you did actually pay me for that. I'm so bad at that. Like, I don't think she's actually paid me for this yet. My niece, I put $100 into a brokerage account for my niece. $50 comes from my mom. That's one of the things she pays for. The other 50 comes from me, but it comes out of my account into the brokerage account. So that's why I'm paying the 100 out. Restaurant went a little over $84.45, and I'm gonna have to talk to my mom about this because I pretty much only am going out to eat during when we go to trivia on Thursdays. And a lot of times we just get like appetizers. I think one day we got meals, and like we normally trade off. My mother will have a beer or two. I'm like, fine, she can have a beer, whatever. I just find them too expensive and I don't buy them for myself. And so like, I think it's kind of garbage that when I'm buying, she's getting 2 beers, and when she's buying, like, she's not paying for 2 beers for me. So, I think I'm just gonna kinda change that a little bit because it's causing me to go over my budget, and, we honestly just do it together, I think, probably to make it easier on the waitress, but, um, yeah, I just think we're gonna have to go back to, like, we pay for ours, like, I'll just pay her, like, what I owe her and go from there. I think we just need to do it that way. Fitness, $40.72. That's how much my gym membership costs. It's actually a Y. I use the Y because I swim. If I could find a gym that was inexpensive and also had a pool, I would do that. Personal, $147.58. Again, like no lift ticket. That's why I didn't even come close to the 250. Miscellaneous, $139.77. I did come close there. And I think part of what's in my miscellaneous is my tax filing stuff, fees and stuff like that. Roth IRA, I put $1,000 in there accidentally. So if you've watched, it was one of my weekly transaction videos. I don't remember which one because I don't quite remember when that happened. It might have been like after the first week, to be honest. In fact, I think it was. I had things set up weirdly in my Fidelity platform, I guess. And so I thought they were taking $500 a month out and buying something with it. Or like basically like buying it, pulling the money, right? I apparently had 2 different things going. One was the pulling it and buying it. And I don't think that was active anymore. And the other one was just cash transfers. And I know because when I initially set it up, like it was weird. I was trying to I thought I put money in and it wouldn't let me set up this like automatic thing. Um, and because it was like it doesn't have money. So I'm like, oh, I've got to put the money in first. So like I'll send the money on the first of the day, first of the month, and then like I'll pay on the buy things on the third or whatever. And I thought I actually had that all changed, but I didn't. I found out that I had like $4,500 worth, I think, of just cash sitting in there that wasn't invested, because of like the way that that was set up. And I don't know. I didn't know. Um, and even when it told me like you have cash that's not invested, I was like, well, yeah, because I always like leave 500 in there, so there's always money in there to like pull out and invest, and then like the next month it replaces the 500, and so like, that's what I thought, but no, it just kept adding the 500 in. So I don't know what happened, but anyway, so I was like, okay, let me change this around, and I didn't realize that like the cash transfer thing was still going. Um, and I changed around actually I changed what I was buying, the index fund that I was buying, and so when I did that, it started like actually buying and pulling instead of just pulling money and not buying anything. So in February, it fixed it. It gave me both the cash transfer and the purchase. So I ended up with two $500 withdrawals from my bank account, which is fine. The money needs to go in there anyway, because I just had it set up, and I was like, "You know what? This is the way it's in my budget this way. This is fine, and I can use like one of my third paychecks. I can use the money that I sell, if I sell back some of my vacation days, which I can almost never spend them all or use them all. So, but I was like, yes, there's other money coming throughout the year that I can use, and I'll just do it that way. No big deal. Didn't realize I was setting myself up basically with two transfers. So that's all fixed for next month. And in fact, it is March 6th today. So far, so good. It does not seem to have screwed up. But anyway, wasn't planning on spending it this month, but I was planning on, putting it in there at some point this year. So not the end of the world. Work expenses, $122.93. And again, I don't necessarily plan, because realistically, the gal that I went with from work, I went with one of my teachers, and she arrived first, so was it like basically put the room on her credit card. How I arrived first, I'd also have the room on there, so there's just really no telling like how much it's going to be. So wouldn't really plan for anything budgeted, but I would put the actual in there. It helps me too with my transactions to keep track of everything that I need to get reimbursed. So total expenses $3,098.20, which is over budget by $301.76, except kind of not really because it's an extra 500, and an extra 122 that like wasn't really going to be spent or wasn't really budgeted for. Um and some of it going to plan to spend anyway. But anyway, um my emergency fund, I budgeted $170.56 to go into my emergency fund, and I did not put anything in there. It's fine. It's fine. Didn't make it. I spent $35 out of my medical fund. I had to get a filling, and that was just my portion of it. Subscriptions, 155, and I spent $28.11. I don't even remember which subscription that was. That's not a monthly thing. That's probably a yearly thing. Oh, did I do? Yeah, I think that was it. So I got a new app for fitness and for like tracking calories and workouts and stuff like that. And it's like half the price of what I was using. I was using my Fitness Pal, and my Fitness Pal to re-up was like going to be $80 or something like that. And then I saw this other app called Lose It. I think I saw it on Reddit. People were talking about it there. And a yearly subscription to that was like half price. So I thought, you know what? Like if I'm already going to pay $80 to try that, like to just keep using this thing, like why not pay um let me back up. It is the app itself is half price from MyFitnessPal. So it was $40 like normally. But because I had just signed up and like tested it out, like you get like a week's free trial or whatever. And then it went on sale from like it's already sale price. So I think at that point, like it was like maybe $25 or something to try. So I was like, well, yeah, I'll do that. Um, so yeah, so anyway, I put 155 in there, really only spent 28.11 out. I put $412 and 89 cents over into my house repair fund. So needed to get that one up big time. I've got some fixes coming up that I want to do. Nittany Lion Club didn't spend anything, put the 17 in that goes in every month. My car insurance, I put 59 in. I spent 367. So my car insurance had to be renewed. I had to like February and August. So that money came out then. Put $423.83 in my car repair fund, which tops it off. So $1,000 in there. Good to go. I'm going to spend some of that this month because I need to get my oil changed. Um, Actually, I might see at the end of the month, like if I can just cover that with miscellaneous, if I haven't had the expenditures, I might just pull it from there. We'll see. But anyway, yeah, that's so far the only thing that baby needs. Gift fund, $262.62 went in. I spent $7.40. I got a card. Actually, I got 2 cards for my niece, and I put some cash in there, and I put in my transactions that I took cash out. And I just used that, and I didn't really like because it wasn't coming out of the digital account. I didn't want to mess it up because if I went like, oh, well, actually, this is how much money I spent on gifts, the number wouldn't be right in my bank account when I go to actually like cross reference. So because I paid it in cash, just leave it. Garden, I put $234.88 into my garden fund. That actually has topped that one out to $500. So it is getting to be springtime. So there's going to be things to be buying for the garden. Travel, I put $100 in the fund, didn't spend any. It gives me $604. I'm $1,400 from topping that one off. I'd like to have like 2,000 in there if I could, but nothing to clothing. Cushion is just, I just leave it in there. Basically, it's whenever there's extra money. So I put $460.40 into this. It was called my tires fund first. And then I found out when I got my tires that I have this like weird engine leak thing starting, and it's not bad now, but like it's eventually going to get bad and have to be fixed. And it was like, I think 800 some dollars to fix it. So I wanted to put $1,000 in there. So that's squared away. I can get that fixed whenever now. I have the money set aside for it. And yeah, good to go. But now what I'll do is like, let's say that ends up only costing me $800 and I have $200 left. I'll put that in the cushion, and that gives me some wiggle room for when I want to pay for things, or there's just kind of like, it's like mad money basically. So anyway, total amount that went into my sinking funds, is $2,125.62. And ultimately, I think probably when I made this budget, I wasn't positive that I was going to be getting a tax refund and how much it was going to be. So, because I mean, I didn't even like budget it because I didn't. By the time I made my budget, which I do towards the end of the month, like towards the end of it's March now. So like that last week of March, I'll start like putting my budget together for April and start finalizing some things. So by the time I didn't have everything that I needed to do my taxes, so I wasn't sure what they were going to look like by the end of January. So anyway, my original plan was to be putting money into my emergency fund. And then I realized that like because I was going to get that money, I'd actually be able to top off some of these repair funds. And so I did that instead of putting more money into the emergency fund, which for right now, my emergency fund's okay. Like I'm not like stressing it too much. I just want kind of a nice even 20,000 in there. I don't really know why. Just sounds good. And then I'll start, putting more money towards other things. But yeah, that's why I ended up I kind of changed horses midstream there. So it happens. But anyway, I came in way under budget. So I'm pretty proud of that. I mean, I consider that under budget. Just spent money I was already going to spend just in a different month is pretty much it, right? Like misjudged my water That's a thing for my mother that doesn't count. I spent $9.45 more in a category than I thought I was going to or that I planned to, and I underspent in a lot of other categories. So I will call that a win. I will absolutely call that a win. Okay, so yeah, leave a comment, let me know. How do you budget? Do you do a zero-based budget? I do. I make sure that at the beginning of the month, every dollar is accounted for. Do you reconcile at the end of the month? Like, I know some people that just kind of do a budget and then they never really check at the end of the month to see even how they did. So it's like, I feel like that's like you got on the train, but like you didn't pull into the station. Like, why would you do that? But hey, maybe it works for some people. I don't really know. But anyway, that's it for this video. I think it's gone on long enough. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.